Good morning, everyone. We want to welcome you all to the Black Market Podcast, presented by Hack the Markets. I'm one of your co-hosts, AC.
Jerome Vincent, aka the Market Prodigy.
Raheem Carswell, Raheem the Dream. Let's get it.
There we go. So since everybody want to put their nicknames out there, of course, everybody know I'm the Market Oracle. So let me go ahead and start this conversation off. So, all right. So I see that my man, Regeneron Joe Biden. I call him that because my man be looking so toe up one day, then he come back like he just had a real good Regeneron fix, and he looked 10 years younger.
You
Man, I
call
don't
him
know what my man
Regeneron
doing.
Joe.
Regeneron Joe, they regenerating my man. They taking them 10 years, 15 years off of him just like that, man. That quick. But so my man Joe, he out here, he talking about what is it, $2 trillion worth of infrastructure stuff. So let me give you a breakdown of what he's saying that he wants to give you guys. So he's saying he's gonna put 621 million. I'm sorry, billion with the B. I said million. I'm sorry, I'm underestimating what he's trying to do. He's trying to do it big.
Yeah.
621 billion. He wants to put that into the transportation infrastructure. So he's trying to do bridges, roads, public transit. He's trying to do some ports, some airports, and he's trying to do electric vehicle development. All with that 621 billion. That's pretty good.
So what
Um,
is his goal like to create jobs in the economy by doing that? Or?
I assume that he is trying to just get the infrastructure. Just I get, yeah, that would be the thing because you're getting jobs created to actually do this stuff. So that's number one, which then makes the economy grow because more jobs, more money flowing, more investment, and then on top of that, you're getting new stuff. Like, man, we got some messed up airports around here. I was flying around the U.S. like what 2019 because I didn't go anywhere for real last year. And yeah, it's some messed up airports out here. And I'm not even a big traveler like that. And I was looking at it like, woo. But that'll be some. I mean, like we definitely need that roads. Like he need to send that money to Birmingham and Atlanta because they got some terrible roads down here.
Man, don't get me started on them potholes on 85.
Man,
And you hit one of them potholes going about 80 miles an hour. Boy, it's over.
exactly.
Ask me,
All I want to say is,
ask me how I know.
man, I can tell you a lot of stories because all I can tell you is low profile tires on some 22 Lexunis, and they got cracked. Mad, pissed off.
Mhm.
On to another
Nah.
subject because I don't even want to talk
Nah,
about that
man,
no
I had some 24s and
more.
my rims used to get bent all the time.
Man, I'm telling you, like pissed off. You better
Biden,
watch out, man.
he
I know
gonna
you
get.
got them nice things on yours, Raheem. You better watch out, man. These potholes are gonna get you. You better ask him for some of this 621 billion.
We got us.
Hey, he need to put some money on. He put money on EV. He need to make sure they know how to make some chips with
Hey,
that shortage they have.
hey, he said he ain't
He
worried
put that
about
money
that.
on
He
that
trying to make the
EV.
car. He ain't trying to make the technology. He just trying to make the car. He said infrastructure.
It's on y'all.
Get it out.
Hey, man, you know Regeneron Joe don't know nothing about no electric cars, man. He think that stuff still probably like some sci-fi stuff until he see it, you know. Hey, but the
Right,
ports, he
right.
is trying to put some money into the ports too, though. So with the ports, man, they needed to send that money over to Africa, man, because that Suez
Oh
Canal could
man,
have
yeah.
used some of this 621 billion trying to get the boat out of there. All
I'm
right,
trying to
so
figure out
Exactly.
where all this money is coming from.
they
I
print,
mean,
man. We don't have a gold standard, so we just print money. Like, what's wrong with it? We are in a deflationary period right now anyway, so why not just print money?
we finna go back to the damn Great Depression where
Hey,
everybody walking around with a wheelbarrow full of money
we
and
gonna
can't
be
even
like
buy no
Scrooge McDuck,
bread.
man. I'm gonna be like Scrooge McDuck. I'm gonna have my money just throwing it up in the air. I'm gonna be like
All right,
LeBron. You know how you get it in that powder and he just, I'm gonna have that
all
money
right,
just going.
go ahead and drop that low.
I'm gonna be the stimulus,
Well, shit.
baby.
Uh,
Yeah, it's gonna be like the purge.
All right, so next thing that we got, direct 400 billion dollars uh going directly to care for elderly and disabled Americans. I like that. I like that. I'm hoping
Okay.
that that also includes veterans. I'm assuming that includes veterans. I'm not sure. I would like to see that if that's not the case though. Let's see. He's going to try to inject more than 300 billion into improving drinking water, infrastructure, and also expanding broadband access and upgrading electric grids. So that's not
So
bad.
wait. So how many years later since the Flint, Michigan incident are they talking about
I
drinking water?
I can't put a exact timetable on it, but I'm
That's
gonna
crazy.
say that it's been a few years, and now they're saying that they're gonna give them 300 billion, but they're not gonna give it directly to them. Of course, it's gonna be throughout the
Right,
whole
that's what I'm
nation. So
saying. It's like they got this money to do it for everybody
they
now.
gonna get a small slither.
Do it.
They gonna get a small slither. So they water might not be as brown anymore. It might start getting a little. It might start turning beige now. So let's see.
Mm.
Yeah, they one step closer to clean water though. That's what
I was
America.
about to say,
That's
Aiden
what
help
Joe
those.
said.
What you
What?
say, Hank?
I'm about to say, see, I know you talking about those that bill for the vehicles, man. I know I have something. It's pretty much Apple or Tesla. Which one you
Mm.
going with?
Oh, really?
Because Apple has their car that should be coming out too pretty soon,
Really? Oh,
and
yeah,
they
yeah,
supposed to
yeah.
be
They do.
dropping.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
That'll be electric vehicle as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we mentioned last week the shortage on the electric vehicle chips is now rolled over into consumer electronics
Mm.
with Apple and the iPhone and stuff that coming out.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, I honestly feel like Tesla has the hand up on this one, being that they
Yeah.
have the funding, the background. Even though they have the chip shortage, Apple's suffering from that chip shortage as well.
Yeah.
And
They're gonna be suffering on both ends then because they got electronics and then they're trying to jump in the cars. So I mean, like that's gonna be twofold. At
I
least
wonder
Tesla only got to worry about the cars.
when they say chip shortage, does that mean that they're just behind on manufacturing, or does that mean that they
Yeah.
don't have actual materials in house, even though they got the manufacturing in place? Do they have the materials, and does that mean that they need to ramp up their mining activities to get the materials, or
Yeah.
are we mining here, or were we importing it, say, from China, and then we had a trade restriction there, and now we're having to mine it ourselves? So I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure.
So you know a lot of that stuff that comes like the material for this electric vehicle stuff, like for the engines and all that stuff, the majority, like the biggest players are coming out of China. But we do like I think we talked about MP
Mm.
before. MP is an American
Yeah.
company that does do they do a lot of the digging and all that stuff to try to get, mine that stuff.
Mm.
But China still has like a big they play a big part in this. They're still one of the major market makers
Yeah.
of this. So with that
That
being
that
said,
makes me want to benefit.
yeah, with that being said, it's like I think that that could have something to do with it. But to be honest, it's kind of like I think it might be a demand issue. I really haven't looked too much into the issue to be honest. So I don't know if it's a demand issue or if it's just constraints on the manufacturing. But what I do know is
That's a
the
good
fact,
thought.
yeah. But it reminds me of like Clorox when Clorox the wipes
Mm.
right before the pandemic. Um, you couldn't find any. I mean, I don't know if you can find any right now, still. So you know that right there kind of like
Right.
is it a constraint issue or like is it production? Like, could you just not ramp up your production fast enough? Like, I don't know.
I'm still trying to figure out what happened to the toilet tissue, man. I mean,
They
that
bought
that
it
thing
all
just
up, man.
that came out of nowhere, man. That was gonna be
Man,
like a trading system, like they do in prison with the cigarettes, man. It's
Yeah,
like who got toilet
they
tissue?
bought it all up. They bought it all up.
they weren't ready for it. Man. They weren't ready.
They was not ready at all. They wasn't
Mm.
ready. All right, so where were we? So they okay. So now they're talking about also doing 300 billion into building and retrofitting affordable housing, along with construction and upgrading schools. That's not bad either. Um, the building of affordable housing, that's not bad because with that we already had like a supply. Um, we have a supply issue right now. We don't have enough supply. So with that being said, you know, that's what's causing these housing prices to be so extreme right now. But you got these eviction
Mhm.
things where you can't evict anyone right now and all that. So with that being said,
Right.
once we start getting those things lifted, we're gonna see a lot of supply, and those prices are gonna start dancing. I feel like we're gonna start seeing like a little 2008. I don't think it's gonna be as bad, but those prices are gonna start dancing. Cause
But
how
you
can
know
they
what?
not?
When I hear that, I immediately wonder when they say they're going to put together this affordable housing is that going to go in like the city limits, or are we talking about in suburban areas?
Mm.
If it's in the city
They ain't
limit,
putting it in. They ain't gonna put it in the city, man. They're not
that's
putting
what I'm
that in the
saying.
city.
They put it in the
They
city.
want,
Are
they
they
want,
put
they want
They're
them
gonna put
out
it in the
the
city.
city.
They're gonna put it in the.
is it
They're
a
gonna tear down the projects and build it
that,
where the old
and that's
presidents
what
at.
I'm asking about. Is it a tear down,
Yeah,
rebuild?
that's what they usually do.
Mm.
HUD. I used to work with the community development, so HUD gonna come in and try to do a little affordable healthcare. I mean, not healthcare, but housing. And they're gonna do what they'll do is subsidize, and they'll have like a city come in and subsidize and all that type stuff. Just subsidize a whole bunch of these loans. Let's see. Oh, last thing that they're trying to do
Everybody,
though.
that's gonna require quite a bit of construction or something, right?
Yeah, home builders should see something with that. And I mean, Home Depot and Lowe's, they're talking about retrofitting and upgrading. So I mean, and new construction. So that's definitely gonna hit like anything that's providing that material and all that stuff. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
all those things should be affected. And then the last thing that they had on the list for Joe had on the list was 580 billion going to American manufacturing, research and development, and job training efforts. So
Mm.
So it sounds like the growth of America is coming. The economy is growing. He's trying to stimulate it. He's trying to grow build out the infrastructure so that we can expand and grow.
most definitely, that's what it seems like. Now, is it gonna happen? It might. It might just because the Democrats do have control. So I think that this might, it might just go ahead and go through.
Okay,
Mm.
okay.
So speaking of growth, man, I got a hot topic for y'all.
What you got,
Y'all
man?
might have heard about this. Y'all might not have, but I knew I had to talk about this today. New York, they doing some big stuff right now. New York, they just passed a bill to
Mm.
legalize recreational marijuana.
Wow, another
I mean,
one.
this right here is big because yeah, and I got to read through some of this because I mean this thing is just packed with facts here. They're saying that I mean this isn't like a rumor. This is actually going through. They're saying New York State Senate and Assembly both passed a bill Tuesday to legalize recreational marijuana, and even the governor said he's looking forward to signing the legislation in law. And they said that this would take effect immediately
Okay.
in terms of the
Mm.
sales of this, they said recreational sales would not be expected for 1 or 2 years. So
Okay.
first thing I have to ask myself
Mm.
is
Always have a
is why now? Well, of course, it's got dollar signs attached to it.
Most
This is
definitely.
something that
Mhm.
this is something that they're going to be able to tax. So they're talking about a 13% tax, where 9% will be a state tax, and then 4% will be used as a local tax. But they're expecting this to become a $350 million a year that they're going to rake in the tax revenues from this. So of course, the state of New York is going to benefit from this, and they say that it's going to create about 60,000 jobs. Switching back over to what this means for the consumer, this means that right now anybody can possess up to 3 ounces of marijuana and 24 ounces of marijuana concentrate, and it will allow for them to grow up to 6 plants at home.
Mm.
Tying
Hey,
this back to the markets, you got your Tilrays and your Auroras, and you got a lot of other stocks. So I'm wondering,
Right, right.
granted, they said New Jersey had already legalized. We know some other states have too, but New York, that's just when you got like a big state like that that has such influence, you can only imagine that a lot of other states are going to fall in line with this. So I'm interested to see
Right.
how some of those cannabis stocks are gonna react to this. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, and I always think about this, okay, well, they're legalizing marijuana right now, but what about all the people in prison who got put in prison or
Mm.
whatever for marijuana related
yeah,
issues?
exactly. Are they gonna get that stuff
Yes,
expunged?
yes, sir. That's what
They
I was
are.
just about to hit on. They
Oh
are going to
man.
Wow.
funds the
Hey.
record of thousands of people in New York who
Okay.
had marijuana related charges.
That is nice. That's good to hear. That's really good.
Yeah.
So I mean, what
That's
y'all
amazing.
think about that, man? Y'all think that's coming to Georgia anytime soon?
I think it could be
That
Georgia.
sounds like
I think it could be Georgia. The only reason why is, and the reason why I say that is because number one, you're seeing the state actually turn a little bit more blue now, in the recent years, and then also on top of that, with the entertainment and all of that stuff just kind of like prevalent down here, I could definitely see like a push just because a lot of those people just, they probably just smoke anyway, like the rappers and
wow.
all these other people that are always in Georgia. Like, I'm not saying that just because they're here, they're gonna do it. But I mean, it might be a good push that because we have
Mhm.
so many of these people. You don't want to lock these people up inside of the state because then no one's gonna want to come to Georgia to do a movie or anything like that. So I don't know. That's my thought.
Right.
But hey, they might not be thinking about it like that. They might just be sitting there with the dogs on the leash, just ready.
What you
Oh
say?
man.
I mean,
Man, hey.
other thing that I
I
think
know
about. Go ahead.
I was about to say I know some I've heard through the grapevine that there's already been like pop-up shops in Atlanta. So I'm sure that people are already preparing with the hookah shops and stuff like that. What has to come.
And I think about it too, as in the other part of that is, yeah, they legalize this stuff, but what are you going to do about your jobs and stuff like that? Because yeah, they legalize it for recreational use, but are your employers still going to allow you to do? Does that mean that they're going to make it? Are they going to do away with these drug screens? Are they going to take that as something a way that they screen when they do drug tests?
So what I would say
Hmm.
is I think they would have to because the only reason why they can screen for it now and discriminate is because it's supposed to be an illegal drug, a Schedule 1 or whatever they scheduled it drug. If it's not scheduled anymore, then how can you say that you want to discriminate
Right.
against this one substance?
And that's what I look at too, because like, is alcohol a schedule? How do they treat that? I mean, because you can't show up to that. You can't show up to work
Yeah,
drunk.
you can't show up
Right.
drunk, but they will allow you to drink off the premises, of course. So I think they might treat it the same way. I don't know how they'll treat it to be honest, but they may treat it
I
the
was
Maybe
same
gonna
like
way.
say I know right now a lot of companies if it is recreational legal where the corporate office is or wherever it was founded, where the company was founded at, usually they follow the law wherever the company was founded at sometimes too. So
Yeah,
I think that could be a part.
yeah, they do that. I've heard that. I've definitely
I
heard that.
take the stance of like how a lot of stores do now. I go to the gun range sometimes and they say, hey, if you're in here, we're not gonna allow you to use our utilize our lanes or rent a gun if you smell like marijuana or whatever. They don't want you shooting a
Wow.
gun.
And I mean, like, I agree with it. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not saying that somebody's gonna
I mean,
go in
I
there
can
and
see
shoot up somebody because they're high off marijuana, but I mean, I agree with it.
like
I
if
respect
you
that.
go to
Right.
work
Cause
and
you
you
wouldn't want
smell
somebody to come in there drunk.
yeah, if you go to work and you smell like that might be reasonable cause for them to think
Mm-hmm.
that hey, you just got this in your system.
Right.
You may not
Mm-hmm.
be able to perform your duties
Exactly.
right now.
Exactly. Same way as if
But
you
in
showed up smelling like a bucket of liquor. You
yeah,
smell like you
right,
just jumped out the Jack Daniel bottle.
right. But being able
You
to
Oh
smell
smell
it
in
man.
that bad boy.
for days ago or weeks ago or a month ago, maybe that's something that they may stop doing if they legalize it.
It's gonna be a change. It'll be a different world for sure.
Yeah.
So, what are y'all expecting in the markets today?
Me personally, I'm not expecting too much just because we got a lot of earnings and stuff coming up on the table. And I don't know. I mean, I haven't really set my expectations. I'll say that too. So I can't necessarily say that I'm bullish or bearish. I'm kind of like just neutral at the moment right now. This is a
Right,
good time to do
right.
some stock picking. And I've seen like these private payrolls, they actually went up on the back of hospitality hiring. So with that
Mm,
being said, it may be something you may well, the thing is you might want to look into the hospitality like the Marriotts and the Hiltons and all that stuff, but we call that stuff running probably about a month ago. Like those things were like tearing it up. So that run may be over, and people just knew that a lot of hiring was going on, and so they just went ahead and ran the prices and front run it a little bit.
yeah.
Um, so like I said, I'm still neutral, not necessarily bullish or bearish, but that was a good thing that I did see. That they were saying that the private payrolls did hit like a burst of new new hiring pace, best since they've seen since September. So that was good.
Mm. Sure. I was about to say I feel a little similar. The main things I would say I'm looking for is like big contracts and big deals because those seem to be some of the only plays that are actually getting action. Based on new things, buying companies out, stuff like that. But aside from that, man, I mean, even I was talking about Apple earlier. It's been kind of consolidating in the same area, and that's just like a lot of other techs. But with that news, with the Apple car coming out, they're about to have their new phone coming out, 5G emerging. I feel like 5G is already emerged, but it's just growing from now. So I feel like Apple and the tech companies really have an edge off of that 5G. So including AT&T, which I mentioned last week. So I'm just checking out these 5G companies right now in big deals.
Okay.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm just worried about kind of intrigued the response to like the tech companies right now and the response to the 10-year yield rates going up. I think the yield rates are getting less and less of a negative reaction from everyone. I know yesterday the 10-year yield was actually the highest that it's been all year. Went up to about 1.75%. Yeah, the market was down, but we've seen the 10-year yield rates lower, but we've seen prices fall on lower rises than what we saw yesterday. So I
Yeah,
think people are getting used to it and they're not overreacting, which is a good news
yeah,
for tech stocks. Because right now, a lot of these tech stocks, I mean, they are low right now. They've taken a beating from
yeah,
overreacting
Yeah.
these yield rate hikes, and they're sitting at low points across the board.
yeah,
And people are looking at this, and they're going back to that old, buy the dips. They're, they're saying, "Hey, I don't
Right.
care about your yield rates. I'm buying the dip right now." And I think more people are taking that approach right now.
Man, hey, you talking about those rates, man? That bring me. I just done pulled up the dollar here. You
Okay.
know, it looks like it might be reloading. You know, the futures look good right now, but it seems to be like it's reloading whenever the market open. It's gonna
Okay.
shoot out the sky again.
Hmm.
Look like it's just shoot out the sky again.
Hey, that's not
So
bad. Hey, and I know that a lot of people they've been talking about COVID and all that stuff like usual. Like this is, normal things now, COVID, whatever, blase, 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 rest of your day. So at least we got some good news right here. I see that Pfizer and BioNTech, they're saying that they have 100% effectiveness in adolescents. So that isn't bad for the kids, at least. At least they're getting 100% effectiveness. So it is
Wait.
vaccinated participants were between
Gotta ask.
16 and
I
25.
gotta ask. If you two had kids, would you allow your kid to receive the vaccine?
These right here are talking about 16 to 25-year-olds. So by that time, you can make your own decision.
you
That's
said
what
Well,
it would be.
16 to 20.
16 to 25, this is where the 100% efficiency
Hey,
is.
boy, they done cut us off, man, guys. We out of that 25 range. What happened, bro?
yeah.
hey, hey, we ain't
No,
that
no.
far off though. So we probably like what, 95%, 98%.
Yeah,
Well, what
right.
if you had like
True.
a younger child? Something that's more likely for us. You had like a 5 year old or a 10 year old. Would you
Oh,
give them?
you know what?
Mm.
So I just read it again, and they're saying that it's only between 12 and 15. 12 and 15 is the 100%. They're saying that it was
Oh,
better than the 16 to 25. That's what it is. 12 to 15 is like the range where they are actually like 100%. 16 to 25
right.
gets a little bit worse, but it's still good. That's what they're saying. But
That's
shoot,
what I want to look up.
I'll
I
go
want to
with it.
look up the facts of how many people, maybe like 10 years old and under, have actually contracted COVID 19.
Yeah, see that right there. I don't know. I know they got some data out there though. You probably can check the CDC and find that out.
Yeah.
I know John Hopkins. They were doing a lot of the data too, so they may be able to provide that stuff too. With us being
Man,
over a year inside of this thing now, they should have a lot of data out here now.
we can go
Yeah.
on and on about that, man. But it's just a lot of stuff packed into that and a lot of what is going on around COVID 19. So I
Yeah.
mean, we're gonna continue to give y'all updates on this. AC, do we have anything going on company wise with um just internal
Yeah, so
like
we have one more webinar series. So if you guys have not checked out the webinars, have not been able to attend, we do have these last two that we did. They're up on our website and they're up on our YouTube channel. And you can also tune in. The last one is tonight. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can go ahead and tune in, and we'll be talking about some strategies and techniques that you can actually deploy um, inside of trading and start making some money. So this is all these webinars that we're doing are geared toward like new traders and novice traders. Just giving you guys the tools that you need to actually understand how you can get involved into the stock market, like interacting with it. And then once you actually have a brokerage account and all that stuff, you can actually interact with the market and start making money. So exciting things that we have going on over here. That's really about it though. I do have a play for you guys though, just because we were talking about all that infrastructure stuff at the beginning. So I like Caterpillar on this. Caterpillar is like one of those
Mm.
plays that you can always look at and kind
Yeah.
of gauge global growth, because Caterpillar is basically going to supply all of the tractors and all of the equipment that you need to to start building. So all the tractors and all these other things that you need to actually get the buildings going and all that, Caterpillar usually does. So they're a good gauge for economic growth. And seeing that we're about to, hit the corner and start running, it seems like we got a lot of infrastructure spending, world growth coming back. Caterpillar isn't just in the United States; they're worldwide. So I'm going with Caterpillar.
Hmm.
And that's just not
Caterpillar. I
even a
like.
long. That's more of a long term play. I'm not even saying that for a trade. You can trade it most definitely. We should see a bull market in that, and we should just all just be looking for good plays on the upside. But definitely a good long play as well too.
Rain, what you got your eyes on today?
Hey, I'm still sticking with my Marvel. What they deal with Samsung,
Oh
man, on
yeah,
some chips.
Marvell, man, those guys are nice. Yeah, I like Marvell. I had actually jumped in on one of those
Uh,
trades. I made some money off of them, but I jumped in a little early, so I out. Saw that they had a little bit more room to come down, and now they're actually looking really nice. So I'm with you on that one.
All right. I've actually got two picks. One off a recent play that I jumped in on yesterday. Like I said earlier, I think the market overreacted with Amazon kind of severing ties with Broadcom. Amazon is they're saying, hey, we're gonna move forward and we're gonna start making our own chip. That's not necessarily saying that Broadcom is a bad company or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, but I mean they took a hard hit yesterday. Yesterday they dropped from about 470 to like 450. So I'm looking
mm,
for, and they started to recover around the end of yesterday. So I'm looking for a sharp recovery and to take advantage of that. And going forward today, AC, you talked about infrastructure rebuilding, and I think the industry that's really going to benefit off that the most is going to be the applied materials. Of course, like you said, Intel, they're investing big money in that, and a lot of these other chip companies.
Oh yeah.
So that AMAT, Applied Materials, that's what I'm going to have my eyes on today. If there's a good entry point for that.
Applied Materials is just a good company all the way around. They've been popping up on my radar for some months now. So yeah, I agree with that play as well. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, guys. We hope that you guys enjoyed this podcast show. We're gonna open it up probably 1 or 2 days in the future. It's not anything that we're gonna do now, but we'll probably have you guys start calling in one of these days, start asking some questions. So until then, we'll catch you guys another day. Enjoy your day.
Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel.
Please subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. And we know the market is closed on Friday, but we'll still be here Friday to talk about some things. But we just want to wish you guys good luck in the markets today and go have the best day that you can.